Welcome, I'm Matt Hamilton. This is Law Talk. Today we're discussing Johnson County, Missouri at Warrensburg Circuit Court. Everything you need to know when you're going there. It's a circuit court, it's a state court. It's going to be more formal and more serious than, say, a typical municipal court. Your fines are going to be higher and unrestricted. You risk jail time, and that's where many of the personal injury and death cases are handled for Johnson County, Missouri. It's easy to get parking there. You shouldn't worry about planning ahead for parking. You can park parallel on the street right before the circuit court, or there's a parking lot right next to it. I've yet to see parking problems at Warrensburg. It's right there in the heart of Warrensburg, Missouri, so there's no problem getting it to it. Just simply follow this address and you'll get there straight. Just pop it right into your phone or your GPS. There is a security checkpoint when you first go in there. So no weapons, no knives, no guns when you go in there. They'll either confiscate them from you or they'll arrest you. Don't even have to worry about that. More likely though, one of the problems people run into is you can't take your phone in. Going through security, they're going to confiscate that and you'll have to leave it in your car. So don't bother taking your phone into court, they won't let you do it. You'll walk right into court, you'll go right up those steps or take the elevator, and the courtrooms are right there on the first floor. Really easy to get to, really convenient, and you almost can't get lost in this building. Dress appropriately. Pretend you're going to church. I see people, young people wearing pajamas into court. Do not wear pajamas into court. If it's something you can go to bed in, do not be wearing it into a formal setting. I see some men who have jobs coming to court directly before or directly after they go to work. They're covered in dirt, they're covered in grime. They may be wearing court clothes. Do not do that. Dress out, even just putting on a nice shirt will show the judge more respect, and the judge will in turn show you more deference. You are there for either leniency or to convince the court to do something you want, so show the court some respect and you'll be more likely to get what you want. Don't dress like a guilty person. Girls, don't dress promiscuously. It may work in many situations in life to show a little extra skin to get what you want. This is not the appropriate setting for that. Do not do that. Yes, you have your First Amendment rights. Do not wear political statements. Do not wear any sort of controversial lettering on your clothes. That is not going to help you at all in this situation. So just think ahead on that. And speaking of that, arrive ahead of time, 15 to 30 minutes early. Johnson County at Warrensburg is a place where you're going to typically check in with the court clerk when you get there. They're not going to have a table out or anything in the hallway. You have to physically go into court and just walk up to the court if you've arrived early, not when court's in session, and just check in with the court clerk and see that she knows that your case is on the docket. It is often the times where they call the cases that are checked in first before the judge. So arriving early vastly cuts down on the amount of time you sit waiting around for your case to get called. It's a time-saving technique. Arrive early. Payments will be made through the circuit clerk's room. If you're going down that hallway where your courts are on the right-hand side, if you go directly down to the end, that is the office of the circuit clerk. So when your case is done, you would make payment there. If it's a felony case or if it's a civil case, you typically do not pay right away. They send you a bill later on. If it's something small like a traffic ticket, you would plan to pay that day, and that would be paid right there. Credit cards, cash, or checks. Now, fines can be higher in Johnson County Circuit Court. Many municipal courts, in fact all municipal courts in Missouri, have a limitation of $225 fine plus court costs combined per case. State courts do not have that limitation. They are simply the limits of the law, which, for example, in many cases is $500 for misdemeanors, up to $5,000 for felonies. you're going to want to call an attorney ahead of time to see what sort of monetary problems you're running into ahead of time, because it's going to vary quite a bit per case. Do you qualify for a court-appointed attorney? In Johnson County Circuit Court, it's not unusual to qualify, but you don't want to be in that position. To qualify for a free court-appointed attorney or a public defender, you need to be indigent. You need to not have the ability to pay at all. And that has to be a court finding. That's not just your opinion. Secondly, it has to be a criminal case where they are seeking jail time against you. If the prosecutor stipulates that they're not seeking jail time, you don't get a free attorney. And in my opinion, you should have a private counsel anyways, because I think that they're going to provide a better level of service to you because their workload is so much less. They can really focus in on what's best for you. Also, I think it's good to just call an attorney ahead of time and ask them. If your case is so small that you don't need an attorney, that attorney won't charge you. He'll just simply say, this is something you can handle yourself. Don't worry about it. Remember, nobody's getting rich representing people in Johnson County Circuit Court. They got better things to do with their time if your case is too small to need an attorney. Now, there are many, sadly, cases where you really do need an attorney. Anytime where there's been a death, anytime where there's been a serious injury, anytime that it's a traffic offense or a serious criminal charge, you're going to be better every time hiring your own attorney. These people can gather the evidence, they can limit the evidence the other side has, they can create a strategy and an impression early in the case and implement it throughout the case, and they can advise you on what to do and how to do it. It saves you time, money, inconvenience, and stress. So I'd highly recommend that in these types of cases. Continuances are normal in Johnson County Circuit Court, Warrensburg. The court will not grant them ahead of time. You can't call the clerk's office and ask for a continuance and get one. You're going to have to ask the judge himself or herself. And they may not grant them for you. Having said that, if you've never continued the case yet, and oftentimes that they will do that. 1 to 3 months is about what you should expect. Okay? And that is Johnson County Circuit Court at Warrensburg. It is a court of general jurisdiction, so there are many different types of cases that are handled there. So my advice is, for your particular type of case, call an attorney that you trust and ask him or her what's best for you. This is Law Talk. I'm Matt Hamilton. Thank you for joining me.